So good morning, all of you. In today's class, we would like to complete the concept called as attacks on mobile or cell phones. So as we discussed in yesterday's class, these particular types of attacks on mobile or cell phones is been categorized into six types. Where the first one is mobile phone theft, and the second one is mobile viruses. Third one is mishing, MISHING. Fourth one is phishing. Don't get confused with the words. So third one is mishing, MISHING, wishing. Fourth one is wishing, BISHING. See here, BISHING. Fourth one is mishing, and the fifth one is smishing, SMSHING. So what is the difference between these three? What is the difference between these three? See, SMISHING is mishing, and the last one is hacking Bluetooth. Last one is hacking Bluetooth. Clear? So these are the six categories. So these are the six categories where the attacks on mobile phones, mobile or cell phones will be done. So among that one, we have discussed one, two, three, four concepts. Where the four concepts are what is going to happen in the mobile phone theft, and what are mobile viruses, and how are they going to attack our mobile phones, and what is the disadvantage of having a virus in our system. And next, yesterday we have discussed about mishing, MISHING, which is a combination of mobile and phishing. And next we have discussed about wishing, BISHING. So it is nothing but a combination of voice plus phishing concept, voice plus phishing concept. So in these categories, what we have told is, so what is the type of attack that is being done, and how can we protect them? That means what are some useful tips? What are some useful tips? Okay, so before going to last two concepts, that means smishing and Bluetooth hacking. I would like to revise all these four. So after the completion of all these four topics, we will be discussing about smishing and Bluetooth hacking, right? So we will be ending this topic in today's class. So make sure this topic and the previous topic are very important regarding this unit. Clear? So mobile phone theft. So before going to this topic, starting what we have done is, so mobile phones have become an integral part of everybody's life. That means with everybody, there is a mobile phone in their hand. So at the early stages, the purpose of mobile phone is to only to communicate between two people. That means either by calling or by messaging. That means at early stages of the invention of the mobile phone, it becomes a necessity. Because of the necessity, the concept of mobile phone has come into the existence. But nowadays, the usage of mobile phone has been luxury. That means from necessity to it has become to a luxury. So since it became to a luxury, and this position at the present situation, if we have lost any mobile phone, if we have lost any mobile phone, then it will have a huge impact. Then we'll be having an huge impact. So normally this particular concept, this particular topic, mobile phone theft, will be done in a crowded areas, that means in a rush areas. So if there are so many people in one area, then then there will be more chances of thefting of a mobile phone. Here they are given some examples like bus stops, railway stations, and traffic signals, etc. Suppose if there is any public meetings, or if there is any traffic jams, then there will be more chances of thefting of a mobile phone. So by observing this, what the mobile phone companies have done is they have been providing the insurance for the mobile phone also. They have been providing the insurance for the mobile phone also. The mobile phone will be recovered. Mobile phone will be recovered by the insurance company, but the data which is available in the mobile phone will not be recovered. That means the insurance companies are going to provide insurance only to the mobile phone, but not to the data. So suppose if our mobile phone has been gone, our personal data will also be lost. Our personal data will also be lost. Now, for example, what we have discussed yesterday is, suppose if we lost our mobile, firstly we will be losing our contact list. First, we'll be losing our contact list or any files which are important to our office work, right? So if it is lost, it will be some disadvantage to some extent. But if that particular data is being misused by the other person, that particular data is being misused by the other person, then we will be facing the high impact. Then we will be having high impact. So there are three factors that contributes for the outbreaks on the mobile devices. So there are three factors that are going to contribute for the outbreaks of the mobile device. What are those three in the sense? First one is target terminals, second one functionality, and the third one is connectivity. Target terminals, functionality, and the connectivity. So enough target terminal in this sense means, see the first Palm OD viruses. So the first virus, the first Palm OD virus, this particular virus has been firstly observed during year 2004 June. Here, this first virus has been observed in the year June 2004. See, first virus వచ్చే టైంకి the total number of devices, the total number of OS devices used or reached to 15 million. They are reached to 15 million. That means 15 million OS devices అనేది యూజ్ అవుతున్నప్పుడు we have got the first virus. We have got the first virus in the year 2004 June. Clear? So here what they have told is that particular virus has been discovered that an organization OJAM, OJAM. So OJAM is an organization. OJAM is an organization, and they have known that particular virus as a mosquito. So what this particular virus mosquito does is it sends an SMS to the organization without knowing to the user. So it is going to send SMS to the organization, but it is, even though it is going to send the SMS to the organization, that particular user don't know that message has been sent by him to the organization. అంటే ఆ యూజర్ నాలెడ్జ్ లేకుండానే SMS అనేది ఆర్గనైజేషన్ కి వెళ్తుంది. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద ఫస్ట్ వైరస్ which is being discovered by the organization called as OJAM. And the next one is inner functionality. See, mobile devices are increasingly being equipped with office functionality and already carry critical data and application which are often protected insufficiently and not at all. The expanded functionality also increases the probability of the malware. That means if our mobile phone does not have an internet, let us assume if our mobile phone does not have an internet, then there is so much less chances of hacking our mobile phone, because our mobile phone does not have an internet. If the mobile phone does not have a Bluetooth, if that particular mobile phone is used only for calling and for messaging, and at the time let us assume Nokia 1100. So that particular mobile does not have any WhatsApp application or any messaging applications or Facebook or anything like that. So that particular mobile phone is used only to communicate. That means at the early stages of the invention of the mobile phones, it is used only for the necessity, right? Suppose if there are less number of applications, then our phone can be protected from the malwares. Suppose if the number of applications has been increasing day by day, మన మొబైల్లో నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ అప్లికేషన్స్ కనుక రోజుకి ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతా ఉంటే, then the chances of, that means the probability of entering of the malwares into our phone is also being increased. So it also depends upon the functionality. And the last one is connectivity. See, nowadays smartphone is going to offer multiple communication options, right? So what are those options? అంటే ఇప్పుడు ప్రెసెంట్ మన దగ్గర ఉన్న స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్స్ అనేది మల్టిపుల్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ ఆప్షన్స్ అనేది ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తుంది అంటున్నాం. సో వాట్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ మీన్స్ ట్రాన్స్ఫరింగ్ ఆఫ్ డేటా. సో దిస్ ట్రాన్స్ఫరింగ్ ఆఫ్ డేటా కెన్ బి డన్ ఇన్ ది స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్స్ by using an SMS or MMS or synchronizing of both the devices or Bluetooth or IR. IR is nothing but an infrared, and maybe it can also be wireless LAN, or it can also be wireless LAN connection. So this comes under the category called as mobile phone theft. సో మొబైల్ ఫోన్ అంటే ఏంటి చెప్పాము. సో ఎక్కడ స్టార్ట్ అయింది, నెసెసిటీ నుంచి లగ్జరీకి ఎలా వచ్చాం, లగ్జరీ పెరిగే కొద్ది మాల్వేర్స్ అనేవి పెరుగుతున్నాయి. ఏ ప్లేస్ లో మన మొబైల్ ఫోన్ అనేది థెఫ్ట్ అవుతుందని ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇచ్చి, సో బై అబ్జర్వింగ్ దట్ సిచ్యువేషన్ ఇన్సూరెన్స్ కంపెనీస్ have been providing insurance for the mobile Even though the insurance has been provided to the mobile phones, our data is not of secured at all. Our data is of not secured at all. So we need to take care of our data. And in this, what they have told is there are three factors that contribute for the outbreak on the mobile devices. What are those three factors in the sense? Enough target terminals, enough functionality, and enough connectivity. Clear? That is the first category, mobile phone theft. And the second one is mobile viruses. Mobile viruses. So we all know what is a virus. So we all know what is a virus. There is no difference between a computer virus and a mobile virus. So computer virus ki, mobile virus ki, there is no differentiation. Their main aim is to it targets the mobile phone data or applications. సో వైరస్ అనేది కంప్యూటర్లో ఉన్న మొబైల్ ఫోన్లో ఉన్న దెర్ ఇస్ నో డిఫరెన్స్. వాటి టార్గెట్ ఏంటి అంటే మొబైల్ ఫోన్లో ఉన్న డేటాని కానీ అప్లికేషన్ కానీ టార్గెట్ చేస్తూ ఉంటాయి. సో దే విల్ ఆల్వేస్ బి టార్గెటింగ్ ది data which is in the mobile or the applications which are available in the mobiles. Clear? And see here, in total 40 mobile in total 40 mobile virus families and more than 300 plus mobile viruses have been identified. Clear? So there are more than 300 plus mobile viruses identified. So as of today, this particular concept, this particular statement, we are discussing that there are 300 plus mobile viruses. It's been discovered in the year 2004, not now. Now we cannot imagine what are the number of viruses which are available. We cannot imagine what are the number of viruses which are being available right now. So this particular survey, is been done in the year 2004. Clear? So mobile viruses get spread through dominant communication protocols by using Bluetooth and SMS. So mobile phones, how this virus is going to spread from one device to the other device means by using Bluetooth and MMS. Clear? So here, look here. Bluetooth virus can easily spread within a distance of 10 to 30 meters. See, this Bluetooth virus can easily spread with a distance of 10 to 30 meters through Bluetooth activated phones. See, if our phone is on, if in our phone the Bluetooth is switched on, then it can be easily spread with a distance of 10 to 30 meters. So in the same way, when we are talking about MMS, see, the MMS virus can send a copy of itself to all the mobile users whose numbers are available in the infected mobile phones address book. Here, this is how the MMS will be sent. సో మొబైల్ ఫోన్ వైరసెస్ అనేది రెండు కమ్యూనికేషన్ ఛానల్స్ ద్వారా వెళ్తాయి అంటున్నాం. ఫస్ట్ వన్ ఈస్ బ్లూటూత్ అండ్ ది సెకండ్ వన్ ఈస్ ఎంఎంఎస్. సో బ్లూటూత్ నుంచి వైరస్ ఈజీగా స్ప్రెడ్ అవుతుంది, దట్ టు విత్ అ డిస్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ 10 to 30 meters. సి బ్లూటూత్ లో వైరస్ స్ప్రెడ్ అయింది అంటే ఆ మొబైల్ ఫోన్స్ దోస్ పర్టికులర్ డివైజెస్ ద బ్లూటూత్ ఈస్ బీన్ ఇన్ ఆన్. the Bluetooth is on. Suppose if the Bluetooth is off, అంటే మనకు అవసరమైనప్పుడు బ్లూటూత్ ఆన్ చేసుకొని అవసరంగానే బ్లూటూత్ ఆఫ్ చేసాం అనుకోండి, దెన్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్ మొబైల్ వైరస్ కెనాట్ బి అక్కడ్ బై యూజింగ్ బ్లూటూత్. అంటే వేరే ఏదైనా ఛానల్ ద్వారా ఎంటర్ అవ్వచ్చు కానీ బ్లూటూత్ ద్వారా ఎంటర్ అవుతుంది అక్కడ. ఓకే, అండ్ ది నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఈస్ ఎంఎంఎస్ వైరస్. సో వాట్ దిస్ ఎంఎంఎస్ వైరస్ డూ ఈస్ ఇట్ సెండ్స్ ఏ కాపీ ఆఫ్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ to all the mobile numbers. సో ఎవరి మొబైల్ నెంబర్స్ కి ఈ కాపీ అనేది పంపిస్తుంది అంటే ఎవరి మొబైల్ అయితే ఇన్ఫెక్ట్ అయిందో ఆ మొబైల్లో ఉన్న కాంటాక్ట్ లిస్ట్ అన్నిటికీ కూడా ఎంఎంఎస్ వైరస్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు సెండ్ ఏ కాపీ ఆఫ్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్. So this is about mobile viruses. So in order to protect from this concept called mobile viruses, they are mentioning four sort of tips. First one is we need to download or accept any program only from a trusted source. That means if you want to download any application or if you want to accept any program, those need to be done. మనం ఏదైనా అప్లికేషన్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేయాలి అన్నా ఆర్ ఏదైనా ఒక ప్రోగ్రామ్ యాక్సెప్ట్ చేయాలన్నా we need to make sure that particular download or the acceptance of the program will be done only from a trusted source. And the second one is, as discussed, See, if our mobile phone is equipped with Bluetooth, if our mobile phone does not have the option of Bluetooth, then there is no problem. But if our mobile phone is having a flexibility of using the Bluetooth, turn it off. Say after the completion of the work, we need to turn it off to the non-discoverable mode. అంటే మనకి ఎప్పుడైతే బ్లూటూత్ అవసరం ఉందో అప్పుడు ఆన్ చేసుకుంటాం. ఎప్పుడైతే బ్లూటూత్ అవసరం లేదో అప్పుడు ఆఫ్ చేసేసుకోవాలి. We need to set it to non-discoverable mode. Non-discoverable mode. See, if our mobile is not equipped with Bluetooth, then there is no problem. If it is equipped, we need to make sure after the completion of the work, we need to set it to off in a non-discoverable mode. And the third one is the mobile is equipped with beam and allow it to receive incoming beams. So if our mobile phone is also equipped with beams, we need to make sure that the incoming beams also must be done only from a trusted source. Only from a trusted source. And the last one is, see, we'll be using antivirus softwares in our laptops or in our PCs. In the same way, we need to make sure we are going to download and install antivirus softwares in the mobiles also. So these are the 4 helpful tips where we can prevent or where we can be safe side according to the concept called మొబైల్ వైరసెస్. సో మొబైల్ వైరసెస్ నుంచి జాగ్రత్త పడాలి అంటే ఫస్ట్ ఏం చెప్తున్నాం, మనం డౌన్లోడ్ చేసే అప్లికేషన్ కానీ లేదా ఏదైనా ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తే కానీ ఇవి ట్రస్టెడ్ సోర్స్ లో నుంచే జరగాలి అని చెప్తున్నాం. అండ్ ది నెక్స్ట్ వన్, ఇఫ్ అవర్ మొబైల్ ఫోన్, మన మొబైల్ ఫోన్ లో కనుక బీమ్ అనే ఆప్షన్ ఎక్కిప్పుడు ఉంటే మనకు వచ్చే ఇన్కమింగ్ బీమ్స్ కూడా ట్రస్టెడ్ సోర్స్ లో నుంచే రావాలి. అండ్ ది నెక్స్ట్ వన్, ఇఫ్ అవర్ మొబైల్ ఫోన్ ఈస్ ఎక్విప్డ్ విత్ బ్లూటూత్, దెన్ after the completion of the work, ante Bluetooth to work అయిపోగానే we need to make sure that we are going to turn it off in non-discoverable mode. Last one is we need to download and install the antivirus software even in the mobile phones, which we do normally in laptops or in personal computers. Clear? That is the second concept called mobile viruses. And here the third concept is mishing, MISHING. సో మిషింగ్ అనగానే మనకి గుర్తురావాల్సిన ఈక్వేషన్ ఏంటి, మొబైల్ ప్లస్ ఫిషింగ్. ది కాంబినేషన్ ఆఫ్ మొబైల్ అండ్ ఫిషింగ్ is called as a mishing. So we know what is a phishing. Phishing is nothing but it creates a similar website. It creates a similar website as it is. So it is very difficult for the user whether it is to know whether it is a genuine website or it is a phishing website. What does this phishing website do is it resembles same as the original website. అంటే ఒరిజినల్ వెబ్సైట్ లాగానే ఒక కొత్త వెబ్సైట్ క్రియేట్ చేసి ఆ కొత్త వెబ్సైట్ ని మనకి ఇస్తుంది. సో నార్మల్లీ వాట్ యూజర్ డస్ ఈస్ he enters a username and password or any other numbers if required and he presses the enter button. Genuine user అయితే it will be navigating to the another page, whereas if it is a phishing website, the data will be retrieved by the hacker and the navigation will not be done. Clear? That is phishing. So phishing is a combination of mobile and phishing. ఒక మొబైల్ లో ఫిషింగ్ అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ జరిగితే ఇట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ phishing, right? So we all know about m-commerce in the sense mobile commerce. E-commerce అంటే electronic commerce అని ఎలా మాట్లాడుతాము, m-commerce is nothing but mobile commerce. See, it is going to be a fast grow. It is going to be a in our day-to-day life it is going rapidly. అంటే మనకి ఆ m-commerce అనే దాంతో యూసేజ్ ఎలా వస్తుంది అంటే రోజు రోజుకి పెరుగుతూ ఉంది అంటున్నాం. if you use your mobile phone for purchasing goods or services and for banking, you could be more vulnerable to a phishing scam. See, if you are going to purchase any items by using m-commerce, we need to pay the amount also in the online, right? That means by using some other banks. So ఈ టెక్నాలజీ వల్ల ఈ m-commerce అనేది యూజ్ చేసి అమౌంట్ పే చేయటం వల్ల అంటే we will be in a more vulnerable position. To a phishing scam. See, another typical phishing attacker uses called termed as wishing or smishing. So phishing అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ లో they can use the concept of wishing as well as smishing also. So the next one is, here the attacker will be acting to be an employee from your bank and other organization and will claim a need of your personal details. So ఇక్కడ ఏం చేస్తారు, ఒక ఎంప్లాయీ he will be acting that he is an employee of or that is an employee of a bank, that is an employee of a bank or any other organization, and he will be claiming the details. సో నేను ఒక కాల్ చేసి నేను ఒక నేను మీ బ్యాంక్ నుంచి మాట్లాడుతున్నాను, లేదా నేను మీ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ లో వర్క్ చేస్తున్నాను, ఐఎమ్ ఎంప్లాయీ ఆఫ్ యువర్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ అని చెప్పి he's going to take all the personal details. He's going to take all the personal details. And the last one is attackers are very creative and they would try to convince you with different reasons why they need this information from you. So information అడగంగానే there may be chance that we will be providing or we will not be providing the data as soon as that particular person is going to be asking. So there are more number of chances. So the particular attackers are very creative such that they are going to trap the information from us in n number of ways. That means they are ready to convince us in any way in order to provide information, in order to retrieve the information. That is called as phishing. And the fourth one is wishing. So wishing is nothing but voice. Wishing is the combination of voice and phishing. పైన MISHING మిషింగ్ అంటే మొబైల్ ప్లస్ ఫిషింగ్ అన్నాం. ఇక్కడ ఫిషింగ్ అంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ a combination of voice and phishing. So there are 5 types of attacks that are going to include in phishing. First one is ID theft, and the second one is purchasing luxury goods and services. Third one, transferring of money from one account to the another account. Fourth one, monitoring the victim's bank accounts regularly. Fifth one is making applications for loans and credit cards. So these are the 5 types of attacks these are the 5 types of common attacks. That are going to be attacked by using the concept called as phishing. So how does this particular concept called phishing works? సో ఆ పైన మెన్షన్ చేసిన 5 ఏంటంటే కామన్ అటాక్స్ అంటున్నాం. సో ఇది ఎలా వర్కౌట్ అవుతుంది అంటే, ఫస్ట్ వన్ ఇంటర్నెట్ ఈమెయిల్, దట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ ఆల్సో కాల్డ్ as phishing email. So as I said, they will be creating an exact Gmail page which represents the same of the genuine Gmail. So it is also called phishing mail. Second one is mobile text messaging. So text is being messaged in the mobile. Third one is voicemail. See, in this concept of voicemail, what they are going to do is, here the victim is forced to call on the provided number. ఏ నెంబర్ అయితే అక్కడ ప్రొవైడ్ చేసామో వాయిస్ మెయిల్ లో, here the victim is going to be forced to call that particular number. And the fourth one is direct phone call. See, in this particular concept called direct phone call, there are some steps which are being involved. The first one is the criminal gather cell phone mobile numbers located and steal mobile phone numbers after accessing cellular company. So in the first concept, he will be stealing the mobile phone numbers. And next, what he does is, he will be dialing to all the mobile numbers which have been theft. ఫస్ట్ క్రిమినల్ ఏం చేస్తారు, మొబైల్ ఫోన్స్ ని గ్యాదర్ చేసుకొని ఆ గ్యాదర్ చేసిన మొబైల్ ఫోన్ లో నుంచి కాంటాక్ట్ లిస్ట్ మొత్తాన్ని స్టీల్ చేస్తారు. తర్వాత ఏం చేస్తున్నారు అంటే, ఆ స్టీల్ చేసిన నెంబర్స్ అన్నిటికీ కూడా he will be calling. He in the sense the criminal will be calling. Next, what happens is, when the victim answers the call, victim is nothing but the contact numbers which are available in the mobile phone that is being theft. So when the victim answers the call, an automatic recorded message that the fraudulent activity and his bank account had an unusual activity. Next one is, the message instructs the victim to call one phone number immediately. So అక్కడ ఏం చెప్తుంది, ఈ నెంబర్ కి కాల్ చేయండి ఇమీడియట్ గా అని చెప్తుంది. సో the same number is often displayed under the name of the financial company or the criminal is patent see here. The same phone number is often displayed in the spoofed caller ID under the name of the financial company the criminal is pretending to represent. And the next step is, when the victim calls on the provided number, he is given automated instructions to enter his credit card number or bank account details with the help of the phone keypad. Once the victim enters these details, the criminal has the necessary information to make fraudulent use of the card or to access the internet. Such calls are often used to gain additional details such as date of birth, credit card expiration date, etc. So what happens in this case is మొబైల్ ఫోన్ అనేది ఒక చోట థెఫ్ట్ అయిన తర్వాత సో దాంట్లో ఉన్న కాంటాక్ట్ లిస్ట్ అన్నిటికీ ఒక వాయిస్ కాల్ పంపించి ఆ వాయిస్ కాల్ యొక్క ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్స్ ఏంటి అంటే దే ఇయర్ దట్ పర్టికులర్ యూజర్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి ఫోర్స్డ్ టు కాల్ దట్ పర్టికులర్ నెంబర్. ఆ పర్టికులర్ నెంబర్ అనేది కూడా ఏదో స్పామ్ కాల్ కాకుండా దే విల్ బి నేమింగ్ ఇట్ విత్ ఏ బ్యాంక్ నేమ్ ఆర్ సమ్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్. So after calling to that particular number, they will be asking us the personal information. That personal information can be of anything, can be of our name or date of birth or any credit card number or anything else that is personal to ourselves, right? Here are some of the examples of the wished calls as discussed earlier. So what they do is in voice call, we know that there is an IVR option, right? So immediately after calling, they will be giving 4 options like press 1, 2, 3, and 0. So 1 is nothing but checking bank details and live balance. 2 is if you wish to transfer funds. Third one, unlock online profile. And the last one is 0, other query. So they will be giving 4 options. See, regardless of these options, mana 0 press chesina 1 or 2 or 3 or any other number, the prompt will be of same. ఏం చేస్తుంది అంటే ప్లీజ్ టైప్ యువర్ బ్యాంక్ అకౌంట్ నెంబర్ అనే ప్రాంప్టే వస్తుంది. సో మనం 1 ప్రెస్ చేసినా 2 ప్రెస్ చేసినా 3, 4, 0 అసలు ఇవన్నీ కాకుండా 4, 5, 6 irrespective or regardless of what is the option you are going to type on the phone pad, the question which is being asked is type your account number. So what does the victim do is he types that particular account number and next that bank account number, here's the next prompt, thank you, and it will be asking the date of birth. So victim ఏం చేశాడు, అకౌంట్ నెంబర్ ఇవ్వగానే అకౌంట్ నెంబర్ ఇచ్చేసాడు, డేట్ ఆఫ్ బర్త్ ఇవ్వగానే డేట్ ఆఫ్ బర్త్ ఇచ్చేస్తాడు, పిన్ నెంబర్ అన్నప్పుడు పిన్ నెంబర్ కూడా ఇస్తాడు. సో ఆల్ ది డేటా విల్ బి అవైలబుల్ with the criminal right now. Right? So by using this data, finally what he does is thank you, we will transfer the call to appropriate representative. సో ఇప్పటిదాకా మన దగ్గర డేటా తీసేసుకొని ఫైనల్ గా ఏం చెప్తారంటే థ్యాంక్ యూ, యువర్ కాల్ విల్ బి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ టు ది అప్రోప్రియేట్ రిప్రజెంటేటివ్ అంటారు. సో విక్టిమ్ కి ఏం తెలుసు, అడిగిన డీటెయిల్స్ అన్నిటికీ ఆన్సర్స్ చెప్పుకుంటూ వచ్చేసారు. సో దీస్ డీటెయిల్స్ ఆర్ బీన్ రిట్రీవ్డ్ బై ది క్రిమినల్. సో ఇన్ దిస్ వే అవర్ డేటా విల్ బి lost. Right? So this is how we can protect the phishing attacks. So be suspicious about the all unknown callers అందరి నుంచి కూడా suspicious గా ఉండాలి. Next one, we must not trust any caller ID. We must not trust any caller ID. Suppose if I have taken a new mobile number and I will be saving that mobile number as XYZ in the Truecaller. So it's not a genuine one, right? So we must not trust the caller ID. Third one is we need to be aware of and ask the question in case someone is asking the personal or financial information. That means if any person is calling to us and asking about personal or financial information, we need to be aware. అసలు వాళ్ళు ఎందుకు అడుగుతున్నారు ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అనేది అవేర్ చేసుకోవాలి. So in such case what we need to tell is we need to inform them that we will be calling back and we need to call to the respected person whether they are calling or not. Suppose మేము బ్యాంక్ నుంచి కాల్ చేస్తున్నాం, మీ పర్సనల్ డీటెయిల్స్ ఇవ్వండి అంటే we need to tell them that we'll be calling back. మళ్ళా కాల్ చేస్తాం వాళ్ళు కాల్ డిస్కనెక్ట్ చేసి we need to call the banking sector, respected banking number, contact number, and we need to inquire whether they are really calling or not, So that is the purpose why we regularly issue messages from the bank that no bank employee will be asking our personal details. అంటే మన అకౌంట్ నెంబర్ ఏంటి, దాని పాస్వర్డ్ ఏంటి, క్రెడిట్ కార్డ్ డీటెయిల్స్ ఏంటి, No banking employee will call us and will ask the details. Why? Because every details will be available with them. మనం ఏ కార్డు వాడుతున్నామో బ్యాంక్ ఎంప్లాయీస్ దగ్గర డీటెయిల్స్ ఉండదంటారా? Every details will be available with them. So what is the purpose of them calling to us and again asking? So we need to be aware of that. We need to be aware of that. And the last one is we need to report the incidents. We need to report the incidents to the cyber police. Clear? This is the concept of phishing. And the fifth concept is called smishing. Fifth concept is called smishing. So this is the combination of SMS plus phishing. So mishing ante mobile and phishing anno. Phishing ante voice plus phishing anno. Now smishing SMS plus phishing. So this is a concept of SMS plus phishing, right? Here the SMS can be abused by using different methods and techniques other than information gathering under cybercrime. See, this phishing is also uses the cell phone text messages to deliver a number of messages to get the victim to reveal his personal identification. Here, how the attack is going to be done is this will be done by using SMS. ఇందాకేంటి ఏదో ఒక వాయిస్ కాల్ వచ్చి కింద ఒక నెంబర్ రిప్రజెంట్ అయ్యి ఆ నెంబర్ కి కాల్ చేస్తే ఆప్షన్స్ లాగా వచ్చి సో ఎవ్రీథింగ్ విల్ బి డన్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఇస్ బీన్ డన్ ఇన్ ది కాల్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఇస్ బీన్ డన్ ఇన్ ది వాయిస్ కాల్ రైట్ here also here the attack will be done by using SMS. Here the attack is being done by using here the attack is being done by using SMS. So SMS uses to this phishing అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ జరిగితే it is called as smishing. That means if the hacker is going to send, if the criminal is going to send some link for you, some like URL, అంటే ఒక హ్యాకర్ ఒక క్రిమినల్ కనుక మనకి SMS లో ఏదైనా అన్ఆథరైజ్డ్ లింక్ పంపించారు అనుకోండి, యాజ్ సూన్ as we click that particular link our data will be revealed. That means our mobile will be getting hacked. So these are so there are some steps also to protect from these attacks. There are some steps also in order to protect from these attacks. So we shall see what are those steps. See, the first one is do not answer a text message that you have received asking for your personal identification. See, if even if a known person or unknown person, if he sends a text message and if he is going to ask our personal identification, we need to make sure that we do not answer them. So in the same way, avoid calling any phone numbers as mentioned in the received message to cancel a membership or confirming a transaction. See, they will be sending a message. They will be sending first ఏంటి ఒక టెక్స్ట్ మెసేజ్ పంపించి మన పర్సనల్ ఐడెంటిఫికేషన్ రిసీవ్ చేసుకునేది ఒక ఒక అటాక్ అన్నమాట. అంటే దే విల్ బి సెండింగ్ అన్ ఎస్ఎంఎస్ ఫర్ అస్ వేర్ ఎస్ఎంఎస్ ఏం కంటైన్ చేసి ఉంటుందంటే మన పర్సనల్ ఐడెంటిఫికేషన్ డీటెయిల్స్ గురించి అడుగుతూ ఉంటారు. సో వీ నీడ్ టు ప్రొటెక్ట్ దెమ్ బై నాట్ గివింగ్ ఆన్సర్ టు దెమ్, బై నాట్ ఆన్సరింగ్ టు దెమ్. And the second one is we need to avoid calling any phone numbers. Suppose if an unknown person has given a text message to call to one particular numbers, we need to make sure we are avoiding those particular call numbers. And the next thing is never click on a hot link received through message on your smartphone or a PDA. Suppose the main purpose of this criminal is to retrieve the data. For that he is having n number of options. That option may be by using a mobile phone, and the second option is by using a voice call, and other option is by using SMS. So the criminal may send an hot link. As soon as we receive that particular hot link, we must not click on that. Suppose if any user is going to click on that particular hot link, then it will be automatically connected to the internet sites. See, this hot link or this particular internet sites are unauthorized. They are not authorized. They are unauthorized. So we can protect these phishing attacks by these three ways. First one, we must not answer a text message. Second one, we need to call to the phone numbers which we receive in the messages. Third one is we must not click on a particular unauthorized links. We must not click on unauthorized links. So these are the three ways where we can protect from phishing attacks. And the last one is hacking Bluetooth. And the last one is hacking Bluetooth. So we all of us know what is a Bluetooth. So we all of us know what is a Bluetooth. See, Bluetooth is an open wireless technology standard used for communication. Communication means exchanging of data between the devices. Exchanging of data between the devices. See, see here, this statement. Bluetooth is a short range wireless communication service technology that uses 2.4 GHz frequency range for its transmission or communication. Transmission or communication. See, Bluetooth 1.0, the version Bluetooth 1.0 has a maximum transfer speed of 1 Mbps. 1 Mbps. Whereas the Bluetooth version 2.0, whereas the Bluetooth version 2.0 has a transfer speed of 3 Mbps. See the difference. Comparing the difference between Bluetooth version 1.0 and 2.0. 1.0 లో అయితే 1 Mbps ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ స్పీడ్ ఉంటుందంట. అదే 2.0 లో అయితే కనుక 3 Mbps స్పీడ్ ఉంటుంది. So this is also an option. This is also an option for the criminals where they can retrieve the data from the user. That is the purpose why we are telling that we need to make sure we will be switching off our Bluetooth as soon as our work has been completed. As soon as our work has been completed. That means we need to make sure that we need to place the Bluetooth in non-discoverable mode. పని అయిపోగానే non-discoverable mode లోకి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేసేసుకోవాలి అని చెప్తున్నాం. Clear? So these are the names of the tools. The table shows the names of the tools and its description. First one is Blue Scanner. First one is Blue Scanner. So what does this Blue Scanner tells? What does this Blue Scanner do is it enables to search for Bluetooth enabled devices and will try to extract much information as possible for newly discoverable desired device after connecting it with the target. So Blue Scanner అనే డివైస్ ఏం చేస్తుందంటే it will be searching for the Bluetooth enabled devices near to it. So Bluetooth scanner వల్ల యూసేజ్ ఏంటి అంటే it will be searching for the Bluetooth device. Suppose if I am having a Bluetooth scanner, నాకు దగ్గరలో ఉన్న బ్లూటూత్ డివైసెస్ అన్నిటినీ ఎనేబుల్ చేసుకుంటుంది. దట్ ఈస్ ది యూసేజ్ ఆఫ్ బ్లూటూత్ స్కానర్. సెకండ్ వన్ ఈస్ బ్లూ స్నిఫ్. సో దిస్ ఈస్ ఎ GUI based utility for finding discoverable and hidden Bluetooth enabled devices. So this blue sniff is a graphical user interface based utility. It is used for finding discoverable and hidden Bluetooth enabled devices also. So it has more power than Bluetooth scanner. Sorry, blue scanner. Blue scanner. Third one is blue bugger. See, these buggers exploit the vulnerability of the device and access the images, phone book, messages, and other personal information. So first two tools లో ఏం చేస్తుంది, బ్లూటూత్ స్కానర్ లో దగ్గరున్న డివైజెస్ ని స్కాన్ చేస్తుంది. ఎనేబుల్ అంటే బ్లూటూత్ ఆన్ లో ఉన్న డివైజెస్ ని స్కాన్ చేస్తుంది. బ్లూ బ్లూ స్నిఫ్ ఏం చేస్తుంది? బ్లూ స్నిఫ్ ఈజ్ ఏ గ్రాఫికల్ యూజర్ బేస్డ్ యూటిలిటీ for finding both the discoverable and hidden Bluetooth devices, hidden Bluetooth enabled devices. So the purpose of Blue Bugger is it accesses the images, phone book, messages, and other personal information. So Blue Bugger ద్వారా మన డేటా అనేది యాక్సెస్ అయిపోతూ ఉంటుంది. Fourth one is Blue Snapper. Blue Snapper. If a Bluetooth device is switched on, then Blue Snapper makes it possible to connect to the phone without alerting to the owner, and it again access to restricted portions of the stored data. So Blue Snapper ఏం చేస్తుంది అంటే ఒరిజినల్ జెన్యూన్ యూజర్ మొబైల్లో కనుక బ్లూటూత్ స్విచ్ ఆన్ అయి ఉంటే ఆ యూజర్ కి తెలియకుండా బ్లూటూత్ కనెక్ట్ అయిపోయి దట్ మీన్స్ దట్ మీన్స్ ద ఓనర్ డస్ నాట్ నో దట్ ఈస్ మొబైల్ హెస్ బీన్ బ్లూటూత్ కనెక్టెడ్. It does not know that his mobile has been Bluetooth connected, and the information will be revealed. And again, if the owner want to access his own information, that will be in restricted part. అంటే బ్లూ స్నాపర్ ద్వారా బ్లూటూత్ ఆన్ అయిన డివైజెస్ లోకి ఒరిజినల్ యూజర్ కి తెలియకుండా ఎంటర్ అయిపోయి డేటాను తీసేసుకొని ఆ జెన్యూన్ యూజర్ ఆ డేటాను యూజ్ చేసుకోనన్నా అది రెస్ట్రిక్టెడ్ పార్ట్ లో పెట్టేస్తుంది. దట్ మీన్స్ ద జెన్యూన్ యూజర్ cannot open his own data. And the last one is blue diving. So blue diving is a testing Bluetooth penetration. It implements attacks like Bluebug and Blue Snurf. So పైన Bluebug and Blue Snurf అన్నాం. Blue Snurf అన్నాం. సో ఈ రెండు అటాక్స్ ని ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయడానికి there is a tool called as blue diving. There is a tool called as blue diving. So these are the 5 tools. These are the 5 tools. So ఈ 5 tools నుంచి మనం ప్రివెంట్ అవ్వాలి అంటే that means for every attack we are giving some tips, right? For every attack we are telling some tips in order to prevent from the criminal or the hacker. So in the same way ఈ టూల్స్ నుంచి మనం ప్రివెంట్ అవ్వాలి అంటే what we need to do is we simply need to switch off the Bluetooth after the completion of the work. ఎప్పుడైతే మనం వర్క్ ఉందో అప్పుడు బ్లూటూత్ తో ఆన్ చేసుకొని ఆ వర్క్ అయిపోగానే బ్లూటూత్ ఆఫ్ చేసుకుంటే కనుక దెన్ we can be protected. Then we can be protected up to some extent. Clear? This is the concept of mobile theft of mobile phone or cell phones. So this topic ends here. This topic ends here. So this topic is very, very important as we discussed. I'll show you the symbols of this particular unit. See, these two topics are very, very important. Authentication service security, where we discussed about 3 types of attacks: push, pull, and crash attacks. And the second one is attacks on mobile for cell phones. Clear? You make sure these two you will be getting ready. అంటే థర్డ్ యూనిట్ లో ఈ 2 క్వశ్చన్స్ కంపల్సరీగా మీకు వచ్చినాయి అనేది you need to make sure. Clear, all of you? In tomorrow's class we shall discuss about mobile devices, where the security is going to imply on a particular organizations and what are the measures that need to be done on the handheld devices. Clear? We shall look over these two topics. We shall look over these 2 topics in tomorrow's class, right? Thank you.